of Friday Night Lights. Here's Sports Director Josh Copley.
The sun has set in Cross Plains, Tennessee. Your Hickman County Bulldogs take on the East Robertson Indians. Friday Night Football coming up on YouTube and Facebook from the Tennessee-Kentucky border here in just a few moments. We welcome you to WNKX live on YouTube and Facebook. As always, I'm Josh Copley alongside student Aiden Weber. Jared Brown will be on camera for tonight. And Aiden, it was a long drive, a lot of traffic going through Nashville. I'm glad you could join us here tonight. We know as a student, it can be hard to make these kind of trips, but welcome back to the booth.
Yeah, Josh, definitely great to be back here at East Robertson, ready to see our Bulldogs take the win tonight.
And if they do want to take the win tonight, Aiden, it's going to take a lot of things going right for these Bulldogs. Now, last week, they are coming off a big victory against Montgomery Central, which was good at getting the Bulldogs back on track. They looked a lot like their normal selves last week. They were doing a lot of what brought them success against Harpeth. They were running the ball exceptionally well. Braden McCaleb looked really well, capping off a touchdown for himself late in the game. Braden Armstrong looked really good. Jaden Street looked really good. I mean, John Michael Lewis wasn't too involved throwing the ball, but he did do a good job of keeping everybody in line, organizing the team, being a leader on the field. But Hickman County is going to need to do that, what they did last week, and multiply that by about 10. Because tonight, they are dealing with no ordinary opponent. They are dealing with the 5-0 East Robertson Indians. They have yet to be beaten. The closest they came to being defeated was last week when they took on Kirkland, who's a 5A school, and they defeated them in overtime by a final score of 28-24. So East Robertson comes in here tonight 5-0 on the season. Hickman County enters in 2-3. So a tale of two completely different schools tonight, Aiden. What's been the mojo around the school leading up to this East Robertson game tonight?
I mean, Josh, I ain't going to lie. A lot of people have East Robertson winning, but the players are still looking to play hard, and I think we definitely need to look at the offensive line tonight. Coach Smith very highlights them, and they say they're ready. They ain't scared of the big guys, and they're ready to just play hard and win tonight.
Well, and I'm glad you brought up the offensive line, because they are going to have their work cut out for them here tonight, because on the other side, on the East Robertson defense, is none other than 6'4", 250-pound, four-star University of Tennessee commit Zach Groves. Now, this young man committed to the University of Tennessee back in May of this year, so he's a very talented young man, very strong, very fast, very dynamic coming off the edge. So these offensive line, they're going to have to do their job tonight and then some. I mean, they're going to be without, of course, Chase Sims, who's one of the biggest pieces of that offensive line, so it's all about how these other guys will step up and do their job. But the national anthem's being played for us, and we'll be right back. So, Aiden, probably one of the more dramatic national anthem performances we've had thus far. A wonderful rendition by this East Robertson band. But also, for those of you that couldn't see through the camera here, they were, in fact, launching fireworks during the national anthem. So, East Robertson certainly providing the patriotic spirit here tonight. I love to see that. But going back to the game, Aiden, that we're about to watch, there's a few players that Hickman County is going to have to watch out for, because this East Robertson team, of course, we mentioned the University of Tennessee commit Zach Groves on defense. They aren't 5-0 because of one man. Now, he's a big part of their scheme on defense, but this team is full of dynamic young players. Their junior quarterback, Kaysen Young, has been making a difference. They have a lot of good pass catchers out wide. Zay Groves, Cade Brooks, just to name a few. But also, not only does Zach Groves play the defensive side, but he also carries the ball from time to time as a fullback. So Hickman County going to have to learn how to deal with him on both sides of the ball. But looking over at the Bulldog side of things, what I did see, Aiden, we saw Andy Kraft in uniform. He was warming up. He was throwing passes. Now, we did see John Michael take the majority of reps and warm-ups, so I would assume to see Lewis out there to start things off at the quarterback position. But I believe that tells me that Kraft is pretty close to coming back, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, Josh. I mean, a couple weeks ago he said he would come back in 3 weeks, 4 weeks or so, and I'm pretty sure he's coming back, or he's starting practice next week. So that's a very good sign for these Hickman County Bulldogs.
And I had the privilege of talking to the PA announcer of East Robertson when we got here, and of course they're well aware of the injuries Hickman County is facing. They were aware that we were going to be without our starting quarterback for a few weeks. So he asked me, he said, so what's the quarterback situation? I said, well, you know, with Andy, we're hoping he's back by tonight, but of course, as you said, Aiden, probably more than likely next Friday night will be his opening game, or his return game rather, and we're going to be on the road again next week. And then after that road game, it'll be fall break, which I'm sure a lot of these guys are looking forward to. Then, finally, we're back home. So it'll be a big road stretch here for these Bulldogs between this week and next week. The Bulldogs, their first district game on the season. Now, Aiden, I've had a lot of questions from people this week. Whenever I say, yep, we're going on the road, 1.5 to 2 hour drive to East Robertson, and they said, why in the world are you going up there? And I said, they're in the district. And that blew the minds of some people I was talking to, because typically district games are schools that are pretty close to each other, pretty tight-knit. You know, it's not a surprise to us that East Hickman is in our district, for example, but, I mean, a school that's pretty much in Kentucky doesn't really seem like a team you'd expect Hickman County to be contending with in the district, but, you know, we don't make the rules, Aiden. We just follow the team wherever they go, and that brings us almost 2 hours down the road. It was supposed to be an 1.5 hours, but with that Nashville traffic, as you know, as you experienced on your drive up here as well, it can certainly elongate that trip just a little bit. It can wear on you, but we're here, and I'm ready to watch some football. It's been a long week after that Hickman County victory last Friday. Of course, the game that ended at 10:30 p.m. started at 8:10 was our kickoff. This time we're starting things normally. It's a beautiful sunset sky here in Cross Plains, and it's about football time for these Hickman County Bulldogs. So, Aiden, looking to the right, I know those of our viewers probably can't see it, but they've got the band lined up. They've got the cheerleaders lined up, I believe. And what's playing right now is Enter Sandman by Metallica. The fireworks are going off. So East Robertson here bringing the Theatrics on their entrance. The entrance of Enter Sandman are very reminiscent of the Virginia Tech Hokies. But if you want to get even more detailed, it's reminiscent of the Hickman County Middle School football team who used Enter Sandman this year. But East Robertson certainly fired up. It's a packed house here on the road for this hometown crowd. Can't say the same for the Bulldog side of things. Very scarce are the fans over on that far side for our Bulldogs, but not too much of a surprise, Aiden. I think this was pretty expected, right? I mean, we know even for broadcasters making the trip, it was going to be tough. I can't imagine for just the normal fan. I'm sure there's a lot of passionate parents over there on that other side that are here supporting their kids, but I imagine a lot of the audience will mostly be tuned in virtually tonight, whether it be on YouTube or Facebook on our official WNKX pages. So the Hickman County Bulldogs will be returning to start things off. And Aiden, as we've said in the past, special teams are what really set the tone before the offense or defense even takes the field. A good return, if you get close to the 50 or even in your opponent's territory, I mean, you're looking pretty good. And Hickman County, of course, has alternated some guys. We've seen Jacoby Pittman become more involved in the special teams. Braden Armstrong as well. They'll mix in Hayden Kennedy, the freshman. And it looks like it will be Pittman, one of the guys back deep, along with number 6, Taylor Hutchison. Hutchison, of course, found his groove again last week after being relatively quiet the last few weeks. Got back on track last week against Montgomery Central. We saw his explosiveness, his change of direction, his athleticism on full display. Gonna need that here tonight. Of course, your Hickman County Bulldogs coached by Pat Smith. East Robertson coached by Chase Brooks, and we're underway. The ball flying towards the sideline, out of bounds. A flag will be thrown. So Hickman County will have some decent field position to start things off. And Aiden, it's so strange. This is my first trip personally coming to East Robertson. I can't recall the last time a Hickman County high school sports team has played East Robertson in anything.
Yeah, Josh, me neither, but hey, our guys are ready. They were ready today. They were pumped at school. I mean, they were definitely ready to travel this long way. They got a charter bus, so they were riding in style up here today.
And that, of course, does wonders for the confidence. Makes you feel a little bit more important. So here we go. Lewis under center. Snap. And it was given up the gut to Braden McCaleb. And last week, Aiden, it was certainly the Braden McCaleb show. Now, while he didn't score the most touchdowns for the team last week, he certainly accumulated the most yards. He put these dogs in position to score. And what a game it was for him last week.
Definitely, Josh. And I hope to see him play another good game here at East Robertson this week. And, I mean, he's been the driving force for the Bulldogs thus far.
So that first carry from McCaleb goes for about 2. Second down and 8, snap. Lewis gives again. On the ground, there's a pile of humanity. That was Braden Armstrong on the carry. So Armstrong gets a few, sets up a 3rd down and 5 for the Bulldogs. So an early 3rd and medium for Hickman County. Now, Aiden, here's where we really see how the play calling, will it evolve? Will we see more passing attempts from the strong-armed John Michael Lewis? Snap, 3rd down. They're going to keep it on the ground. Up the middle, it's a pushing of the pile. Not much going for the Bulldogs, and that'll force a 4th down. So Hickman County staying on the field with the offense on a 4th and 4. Lewis under center, snaps. Gibbs up the middle. McCaleb is fighting down to the 45, and a late hit comes in. And he's close to the sticks. And it's going to be a close spot. They may have to bring out the sticks. No, they will not. The officials signify 1st down, and what a big 4th down conversion early in this game, Aiden. The Bulldogs really needed that to set the tone.
Definitely, Josh, and we saw right there Braden McCaleb. I mean, the first 3 defensive plays there, East Robertson did very well, but the Bulldogs definitely responded very well also.
Absolutely, and someone we saw on the field a lot last week in the absence of Spiegelmeyer was number 0, Jamison Keithley. Jet sweep to Jaden Street, and that's going backwards. No gain. One of the guys there on the tackle was number 0, a man whose name we'll probably be calling a lot, Zach Groves. So Street loses about 4 yards on the carry. 2nd down and 14 for Hickman County with 9.5 minutes to play in our first quarter. So Keithley again out wide to the left as the receiver. Lewis under center. Snap. Lewis gives to Street again. Tries to bounce it out right. And he maybe got back to the line of scrimmage if he's lucky. So after the big 4th down conversion, Hickman County very quickly in a 3rd and long situation. It'll be 3rd and about 14 yards to go. And Nathan, I think, if you're Hickman County's coaching staff, you don't have to get it all right here. I mean, they clearly are not afraid to go for it on 4th down, maybe just something small here to set up a 4th and manageable. Don't need to do too much.
Definitely, Josh, and I mean, Hickman County is known for their defense, so maybe, after this offense, maybe this defense can get something rolling here for the Dogs.
The defense, of course, of Hickman County, always good at sparking momentum. Street in motion, fakes the pitch, gives up the middle, and the Indians were ready for it. He is met, is McCaleb at the 41-yard line. So it'll be 4th down and 14, no gain. And I would imagine we will see the punting unit. Lewis, of course, who takes snaps as the quarterback, but also mixes in some punts from time to time when Qualls isn't out there. Now Lewis will be in the gun, so perhaps a pooch punt of some sort. Takes a few more steps back, and he will kick it away. And it's a good kick by Lewis. bounces inside the 25 and rolls inside the 20, inside the 15, and it'll be downed at the 13-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Indians. So Hickman County able to move the chains once on that first offensive series, but nothing following that, but a great punt by John Michael gives the defense a lot of ground to work with here. So while East Robertson, Aiden, is a very talented school, they're also 2A, just like Hickman County is, and that means that a lot of their guys on the offensive side play the defensive side of the ball as well, and vice versa, which means if you're the team with the bigger gas tank with more stamina, then you'll probably be the one that wins the race. So I think it's going to be a battle of wills here in this game against the Indians and the Bulldogs. So quarterback in the gun. Snap. It's a quick pass out to the right. Has a lot of room. Breaks a tackle down the sideline, 40, 50, and he's going to go all the way to the house. Jamison Keepley in pursuit, but he's not going to catch him. Touchdown, Cade Brooks. So all it took was one play for these Indians to go 87 yards all the way to the end zone. East Robertson strikes first with 7 minutes and 18 seconds to play in the first quarter.
And Josh, if you're Hickman County, I mean, it's early in the game. You can't hang your heads over that one miscommunication, that one play. I mean, yes, they're up right now 6-0, but they can't hang their heads. They still have to play hard. I mean, it's just the beginning of the game.
But if you're East Robertson, probably no other way you can imagine starting this one off. And they're going to go for two. Quick screen out to the right. It's Brooks again. Jump cut inside, and he's in for the two-point conversion. But now, Aiden, something important that we should talk about. You know, with East Robertson getting that forced punt and then going down the field in one play, scoring a touchdown, and getting that two-point conversion, they're the home team. They already have the crowd support, and all that does is rile them up even more. So if you're Hickman County's defense, whenever you go out there on the field, you got to understand, you're not just playing to keep it a close game. You're also out there to keep the crowd in check. Because if your offense goes out there, the roar of the crowd can affect how you call plays, how you communicate with your offensive line, with your receivers. Just a lot can go wrong if the noise starts to amp up a little bit. So, you know, East Robertson, a pretty good start for these guys.
Definitely, Josh. I mean, East Robertson's crowd, I mean, it is packed. I mean, I can't even find an open seat. But the band is playing. The cheerleaders are all up in hype. So it's definitely some good energy here for East Robertson.
And I can't remember the last time we've been to a game where there have been fireworks. Although I can't say these fireworks are going to be duds fireworks, though.
We should bring some fireworks to Hickman County, Josh.
I wouldn't be opposed. So, Steve Kraft, if you're listening. The kick is away, fielded by Pittman inside the 10. Oh, and there's not a lot of blocks for Pittman as he's getting wrapped up and swallowed deep in his own territory. And they're going to mark him down maybe back to the 10-yard line. So again, the momentum just keeps on rolling in the favor of East Robertson. Pittman usually so electric in the special teams, unable to generate much there. So Hickman County going to have to go 90 yards to find the end zone. Lewis under center. Snap. He's going to give it up the middle. That was Braden McCaleb up the middle. Gets a pretty good gain on the first down carry of about 6 yards, second down and 4. So McCaleb looking to pick up right where he left off last week.
Yeah, Josh, so far he's had a great game. Offensive line's open and holes up for him to run through, so our offense is looking good so far.
Certainly better than I'm sure a lot of people anticipated considering the stout competition they'd be facing, but if you're Hickman County, you have to find a way to string a few big plays together. That's a give. Spin move by Armstrong up the middle, and then he runs into a pile of East Robertson players. Not a lot on the carry. He'll get maybe a yard for a third down, short 3, long 2. Hickman County substituting, which means East Robertson can sub if they so choose. But it looks like they're sticking with the 11 they've got out there.
And Josh, for Hickman County, I hope to see some passing plays for Hickman County in today's game, maybe even if they're short passes.
And I think, too, and we might see that, but I think they're probably trying to game plan against Zach Groves. Snap, third down, it's a give, lowers his shoulder, plowing forward is McCaleb, and he should have enough for the first down. And the officials waiting for the spot. And they will move the chains. First down, Bulldogs yet again. Braden McCaleb. And McCaleb, of course, his greatest enemy, whenever he has struggled, has been himself. Between the fumbles, turnovers. But if he can get that under control, as he did last week, McCaleb is going to be the MVP of this offense, I have no doubts. Lewis under center, Keithley wide left, snap. Lewis is going to give right, cuts back up the middle for about 2 yards, straight up the middle. So a second down and 8. East Robertson now making some substitutions. Trying to keep fresh legs out there. Hickman County with that running attack will try to wear you down. And that's where Hickman County can really take over a ball game, is if they can get the defense on tired legs. But smart play there by Coach Brooks and East Robertson to try to keep as many fresh guys out there as possible against this Hickman County rushing attack. So Lewis again under center, snap. It's going to be a straight give. McCaleb bounces off a tackle, drags the man with him down to the 30. Another good carry by McCaleb to set up a third down and short. It'll be a third down and 1. So Aiden, right here, I don't see why you wouldn't just trust your big guy, Braden McCaleb, to go right up the middle to get you a yard. He's proven he can do that so far.
Josh, I couldn't agree more. I mean, he is such a powerhouse for these Dogs, and he's what's making everything work for Hickman County so far.
So Street out there, McCaleb out there, Keithley out there, Armstrong out there, Lewis under center, snap. It's going to be a straight give. Oh, and they're going to wrap him up, and the ball is out. It's a fumble. The Indians think they have it, and it will be East Robertson football. First and 10 inside the 30, inside the 25 at the 24-yard line.
Now, Josh, if you're East Robertson right now, your spirits are definitely high, especially with that fumble that we just saw.
And, you know, I guess I'll blame myself for jinxing it. I mean, McCaleb, who would look so reliable as far as, you know, keeping the ball protected. I mean, that's the first turnover we've seen from him in a while. But, of course, that's going to happen in the sport of football. You got to keep your head up, power through it. But, of course, these East Robertson fans, all the more fired up. Snap. Fires. Fades it to the end zone. Has a man caught. Touchdown. East Robertson. Zay Groves. Pass was made by Kason Young. So, Aiden, this East Robertson team has only run 2, count them 2 offensive plays, and they have scored 2 touchdowns. So 14-0 Indians. They're going to go for 2, direct snap up the middle, and that Zach Groves is in for 2. So that's 16-0 with 3:45 left to play in the first quarter. Now, Aiden, we knew this was going to be an uphill battle here tonight, but I don't think even Hickman County expected to be already on their heels to this degree, and only in the first quarter. But if you're the Bulldogs, you have to somehow find a way to stay motivated to keep playing, no matter what your opponent looks like on the other side.
Yeah, Josh, and I mean, with Hickman County's offense, especially with Braden McCaleb getting those yards, I mean, I would say we will score, maybe not even, you know, tie them in this first half.
But if you're Hickman County, you have to realize that these East Robertson defenders, these coaches, they were ready for whatever attack that we were going to bring to them. I mean, Hickman County is not shy about their game plans, very run heavy, trying to, use deception, different motionings of men out there on the field. But if you're Hickman County, you got to try something different. And you have to try to go to the drawing board and say, you know what, let's get creative. What do we have to lose? We got to try to find a way to keep these guys off guard. And that's a booming kick, fielded by Pittman again inside the 10. At the 15, bounces outside, 20. Cuts back in down to the 25-yard line, taken down to 24, and Pittman took a nasty hit. Was a bit slow to get up, but now he's up under his own power and trots off the field. So, Aiden, I know it's only in the first quarter, but Hickman County desperately needing to show some life here on this drive.
Yeah, Josh, and might as well just give it to the man himself, Braden McCaleb.
And I would definitely not be surprised to see him continue to get more touches in this game, regardless of the fumble. I mean, that's one mistake. But think about what McCaleb has done for this team over the last few weeks. I mean, he's even been, the primary getter of yards thus far. Snap. Lewis wants to pass. Fires to the right. Sails it. Intercepted. Oh, my goodness. What an acrobatic play by Bryson Harrison. So it looked like Aiden Lewis had a man, just overshot him. But my word, what a play by that East Robertson secondary.
And Josh, if you're East Robertson, I don't think you could have asked for a better way to start a football game.
You know, Aiden, that interception that we just saw there by Harrison, that's a tough play to make if you're a collegiate athlete or a professional athlete, much less a high school athlete. So props to that young man. But Kason Young in the gun yet again. Snap. He's going to give on the inside zone. Jump cut inside. He's finally taken down close to the line to gain. We've already seen East Robertson trying to get Zay Groves and Cade Brooks involved, two very dynamic athletes. So in the gun is Young. One receiver to the right, one to the left. It's Chris Groves lined up to the right side. Snap. It's going to be a keeper on the read option. Powers up the middle, bounces off a tackler. Young has a block down the sideline and run out of bounds inside the 25 down near the 20-yard line. For yet another East Robertson first down that'll move the chains. As they inch closer to the red zone, they'll spot him down at the 21. So Kason Young, certainly a dual threat quarterback. Earlier he showed off the arm on that fade to the end zone to Zay Groves, and right there deciding to keep it to himself, get a hefty gain for a chain mover. And in this day of football, Aiden, no matter what level you're playing at, we're starting to see more of the dual threat quarterback. The guy who can not only make big plays with his arm, but also can escape pressure and be a runner. Give up the middle. That was number 11, Caleb McNeil, the senior running back. Plows ahead for a few. He'll get about 3 or 4 yards on the carry. Second down and a long 6 for the Indians. And we are just under 2 minutes to play in the game's first quarter. Young again in the gun. Snap. Play action. Rolls out. Fires to the right. Low throw. And a nice play there. Looked like he almost smothered it for a second, but Chris Groves comes up with the pass. Doesn't get a whole lot. Gets maybe 4 on the completion to set up a 3rd down and 2. But that was a nice job by Young to recognize the pressure, to find his outlet man on the check down. So East Robertson loves the shotgun. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Snap. It's going to be another read option. He'll keep it, and he'll trot right on in for another East Robertson touchdown. I mean, Aiden, with Kason Young, it's not just his speed or athleticism. It's not just his arm. It's his vision. It's his intelligence to know when to keep the ball to himself, when to give it off to his running back. I mean, such a great quarterback this young man is.
Josh, I haven't really saw him play much. I haven't watched film, but so far in this game, I mean, he's just a overly, all-around, just good player in every aspect.
And as we mentioned, East Robertson is 5-0 for a reason. It's not by accident. Now here to attempt the PAT. The kick is up, and it's good. So that makes your score East Robertson 23, Hickman County nothing. We've got exactly 60 seconds to play in the first quarter. You know, Aiden, this team, this East Robertson team, these are the guys that defeated a 5A school last week in Kirkwood in overtime, 28-24. And I don't think people really understand the sheer difference in 5A and 2A. I mean, it is substantial. I mean, if we think about just the difference between Fairview and Hickman County, 3A and 2A, just multiply that by a few. But here we go. It's Pittman on the return. Tries to get to the right side, cuts back inside, but he is hit and dropped by a few Indians. It'll be 1st and 10 for Hickman County. They'll mark him just shy of the 20 at the 19.
And Josh, just like you said earlier, I mean, a lot of people look at the Tennessee commit that East Robertson has, but just like you said earlier, it doesn't take one man, it takes a whole team. And so they've definitely proven that this season.
So Hickman County offense, which after a first down on their first drive, that's been about all there has been going right for Hickman County. Motions Armstrong. Goes back out to the right. Snap. Lewis going to give it to Street to the right side. Tries to cut back inside and gets a few on the carry. So Street gets beyond the 20, down close to the 23. Be a 2nd down and 7 after a 3-yard carry by Street. So the ball is out again. It's a fumble on the right side of the field. I believe Hickman County fell on it, though, as they will lose about 3 yards back to the original line of scrimmage, 3rd down and 10. And that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. Your score after 1, East Robertson 23, Hickman County nothing. We'll be right back.
This broadcast of Friday Night Lights on WNKX is brought to you by Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital. MLEC and ML Connect, your trusted source for power and broadband. Pizza Hut of Centerville. McDonald Funeral Home and the McDonald family. Heritage Bank and Trust, and Three Rivers Community Health Group in Lyles. We appreciate these trusted local businesses for making this broadcast possible. We will return in just a moment.
And welcome back to WNKX live on YouTube, Facebook, and 96.7 FM. I'm Josh Copley alongside Aiden Weber. Our cameraman for the night is Access Tennessee employee Jared Brown, who handles all our finances. Thank you, Jared. These Hickman County Bulldogs have struggled, to say the least, thus far. 23-0 in favor of the Indians after just one quarter. But the Bulldogs on the offensive to start the second quarter. 3rd down and 10 for the Dogs inside their own territory at the 20. Lewis snaps. To be a little end around. Spin move by Armstrong, but these Indians were ready for it, and they dogpile him in the backfield for a loss. So that'll back him up about a yard, 4th and 11. And we'll probably see another John Michael punt. Number 17, Lane Bruce, the man going back deep to return the punt. So timeout is called on the field before this 4th down play. Looking to talk things over are the Bulldogs. Now Aiden, of course, not really sure what the timeout would be for here. I would assume they were going to punt the football away, but maybe seeing as they're down 23-0, maybe they're playing with a devil may care attitude. Maybe they come out here, try to run a fake of some kind, trying to catch them by surprise to get some big chunk play. I'm not sure. It seems like whether or not East Robertson starts at the 20-yard line of Hickman County or their own 20-yard line, the result has been all the same thus far for the Indians.
And Josh, I mean, Hickman County may just want to be a little risky and just see what can happen, just get a little success going, building up.
So Lewis is still out there in the guns, which means he'll probably back up a few steps and punt it away, which is exactly what he'll do. And it's a laser beam, a beautiful spiral through the air, and it takes a Hickman County balance inside the 35, down near the 30. It'll be down to about the 31, 32-yard line. So this impressive, to say the least, East Robertson offense back out on the field, led by their junior quarterback. Casey Young has done it with his legs and through the air thus far. Snap, wants to throw it quick out to Groves. Oh, and a nice tackle there. Hickman County, Jaden Street and Jacoby Pittman there to bring down the UT commit at the 35. And Casey Young, he certainly looks more comfortable throwing the short, quicker passes, but certainly not afraid to take the top off you either, going deep. He's done that once already today. With that first pass completion from Young to Groves, goes for about 4 rather, for a 2nd down and 6. So they got 2 stacked up on the left, 2 stacked up on the right, quarterback in the gun. Quick throw out to the right. It's Chris Groves, tries to juke back inside, but a nice job by Jacoby Pittman in help. It was Keithley there as well on the tackle. And that's why we consider Pittman to be a spark plug player, Aiden, because if it was just Keithley trying to make the tackle, I mean, Groves might have broken free right there, but Pittman comes in, secures the tackle, helps out his teammate. Big time play to set up a 3rd down and medium, which is a big time chance for Hickman County to get a defensive stop and get off the field. So they're spreading the field again. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Snap, they're going to give it up the middle, but whistles blow. Looks like there was some motion. Usually that's what that early whistle indicates. It was a false start penalty. And it looks like they're already walking back. And it'll be a false start against the Indians. So what was a 3rd and 5 turns now into a 3rd and 10. So with a little bit of help from East Robertson, Hickman County, a good chance here, Aiden, for a defensive stand. The ball now spotted at the 31. And every win is a critical one, whether it's a moral victory or a mental victory. This would be a big one here for the Bulldogs. They're going to throw it on 3rd and long. Young lets it fly, has Brooks, incomplete. Cade Brooks had a few steps on his defender. The pass sails a little too strong out of the arm of Kason Young. And it looks like they're bringing out their special teams unit to punt things away. So a big stop there by Hickman County with certainly some help from the East Robertson offense. Summer to punt things away. And it's away. It's a decent kick, wobbling. Kicks up and is down at the 34-yard line. But now, Aiden, it goes back to what you said earlier, right? The defense has been the one called upon to get momentum for this Hickman County team, and that's a good start. I mean, to hold an offense this explosive to a punt, I think that's the biggest win Hickman County has had all game thus far. And with under 9 minutes to go in the first half, out trots the Bulldog offense. Lewis under center, snaps, going to give up the middle. Diving forward is McCaleb past the 35. They'll spot him down near the 37. So he'll get about 3 or 4 yards on the carry. And McCaleb is so good at getting that extra yardage. Even when he's about to fall down, loses balance, when he's going to the ground, he always extends, he reaches, he kind of propels himself forward to get that additional yardage, which also, adds to his value as a player on this offense.
Definitely, Josh, and that just shows that he understands that every moment, every yard, every play is important and a key asset to the game.
And even more so when you're just looking for some kind of life like Hickman County is right now. Lewis again under center. Snap. He's going to give it Armstrong. Cuts up inside. He's being pushed forward the pile, but now he's stood up as he's fighting towards midfield. The official looks like will spot him at the 48-yard line as they're close to a first down. It'll be 3rd and a yard for the Bulldogs. Lewis under center. 3rd and 1, snap. Going to give up the middle. Plowing forward, he's close. He's down near the 49. That was Braden McCaleb. And they'll move the chains. So a tough run by McCaleb will keep the Bulldogs' drive alive. So both teams now making some substitutions. So 1st and 10 Dogs at the 49 of their own. Or at the 44, rather, my mistake. Snap, Lewis wants to pass. Pressure coming, and he's wrapped up and taken down. And that was number 16, the senior Angel Blair, with the sack. So a trainer coming out, I think, to check on Lewis. An injury timeout is called. And Aiden, of course, Hickman County's offense already scarce enough with the absence of Sims, Spiegelmeyer, and Kraft. Losing Lewis would be detrimental to this team.
Yeah,
even
Josh.
if it's just for a play or two.
Definitely, Josh. I mean, you never want to see it. And Hickman County definitely don't want to go back in yards as they did in that last play, but hopefully they can get something going here on this next play.
So we know in times where Lewis has had to sit on the sideline, they've called upon Braden Armstrong to take snaps. And it looks like that's what he's going to do here. Armstrong in the gun. On a second and long snap. It's going to be a read option. He's going to keep it himself going left. Nothing going. So what was a 2nd and 20 will turn into about a 3rd and 22. So Hickman County going to be punting it away from their own 35. So on this 3rd and very long, Hickman County back out. And the man is under center. There's Armstrong. Look like they were going to run another offensive play, Aiden. But Hickman County takes a timeout. Perhaps Coach Smith didn't like what he saw in the formations. And a timeout will be taken.
And Josh, Coach Smith knows, and all the coaching staff know, that taking a timeout is so crucial, just making sure the players know the key details and making sure everyone's on the right path, you know.
And Hickman County, I mean, getting a yard has been tough to come by sometimes here tonight, much less needing 20 yards for a first down. So whatever the coaches draw up here, it's going to have to be a good one.
And Josh, as we said earlier, I mean, with the packed house of East Robertson, all the energy that they produce, I mean, you know it's hard and the players definitely can get confused in the game.
Yep, we can see some discombobulation, some misunderstandings going on between players trying to communicate with one another. But Armstrong in the gun, motion street. Armstrong is going to throw, dunks it off to Hutchison on a screen pass. But they were well ready for it on that 3rd down and long. And he'll get back maybe to the 35, maybe a yard at best. And there was a flag all the way on the other side of midfield. So I wonder what that could be about. I wasn't looking in that direction. We did see some helmets come off during that play near midfield, so maybe some sort of personal foul call, but not sure who it would be on. And it is a personal foul against East Robertson, so a big break for the Dogs. And that will be, of course, Aiden, a first down for Hickman County, so any way they can get it, they'll take it. The ball will be spotted at midfield. First down and 10 for the Bulldogs. Just under 5 minutes to play in this first half. So they still have it as 4th. Now they adjust it again. So it'll be a 3rd down and 4. So the line judge originally had a first down after the personal foul call. They changed it to a 3rd down with 4 yards to go to move the chains. So can Hickman County capitalize? Armstrong under center. Looking to the sideline to confirm the play. Snap. He's going to give it right. Powering up the middle. Oh, what a big hit to the back of the head. Jaden Street with a tough run. Emphasis on tough. My goodness, he took a shot there at the end of the play, but ever so resilient is Jaden Street, and the officials say first down for the Dogs. They'll spot it close to the 45. Hickman County for the first time today in plus territory. Armstrong under center, Keithley out wide to the left. Hutchison, McCaleb, Street all in the backfield. Snap. Quick give up the middle. And it's a pile of humanity again, as we're accustomed to seeing in Hickman County's play style. He'll get maybe a yard on the carry. So Devin Tucker, we've seen him on the field some this game. Snap. Armstrong gives to Hutchison, bounces it left. Tries to cut back inside using his nimble feet. Gets a few on the carry, a modest gain, if you will. We'll set up a 3rd down and 6. And the clock winds under 3 minutes to play. Aiden, of course, in this spot on the field, I mean, you can pretty much forget sending the punter out there. I mean, I'm sure we'll see, 4th down conversions attempted pretty frequently for the remainder of this ball game. Third down. Armstrong talking to his guys in the backfield, Hutchison and McCaleb. Keithley out wide to the right. And a lot of motion. Oh, my goodness. That will be against the Bulldogs, so they didn't need that. So a lot of guys in white jerseys crashing forward, and maybe they knew something that I didn't. I thought we were going to see some sort of trick play, and no, it was just a little premature motion. That'll back them up past the 45, near the 46 for a 3rd down and 10, 3rd down and 11.
They were too hyped up, Josh. They were too ready. They were excited.
That they were. So Armstrong under center. Same formation. Snap. Gives Hutchison again to the left. Has to do a lot of work to get out of these tacklers, and he can't do it. And he'll lose a couple on the play. So that'll bring up a 4th and 13 for the Dogs. And both teams heading to the sideline. I believe a timeout was called on the field, although we did not see a signal. So 4th down and 13, Dogs keeping the offense out there. Motions. It's a little end around. Hutchison up the middle. Had a lane for a moment, but it closes quickly, and some pushing and shoving going on. McCaleb and an East Robertson player. But they quickly disengage, and it'll be a turnover on downs, Indian football. So East Robertson will take over at the 47-yard line. So under 2 minutes to play, and you know, Aiden, something that we can say about this game tonight, I'm glad it's starting to cool off a little bit. You know, earlier in the season, it was blistering hot. Even today, it was a little warm, but the sun is set, and it feels pretty good out here.
Yeah, it ain't too bad, and luckily it ain't raining. We had some rain the past couple of days.
Absolutely, an impressive shovel pass by Young, getting it out to Brooks. He didn't really gain much, but that was a very fancy play. Nice improv by Young, and I'll give him about a yard on the play. I was told when I talked to some East Robertson fans and staff today, the Young to Brooks connection is what we needed to watch out for the most, and we can see why so far in this game. And Young wants to throw again, has literally all the time in the world, now rolls right, keeps it himself. Down the sideline, first down, he just trots out of bounds. He'll coast on for a first down into Bulldog territory. That'll be a chain mover. And Young goes out at the 40. This offensive line from East Robertson has been so impressive. They've opened up holes for the running game, but they've also given Young so much time. And even the few times where they've fallen apart blocking-wise, Young's able to escape so easily because of his athleticism and his speed and his vision and awareness as well. So just a total machine is this East Robertson team. Again, in the shotgun, and as a false start, they'll get number 2, Chris Groves, who jumped a little too quick. We saw the Bulldogs get excited, and the Indians also getting a little bit excited on that play. So that'll back them up for a first down and 15. So just over a minute to play. East Robertson trying to find the end zone one more time. So the officials trying to get a new football out there. Trying to avoid any sort of deflate gate here at East Robertson. Shout out to these officials protecting the integrity of the football game. So Young in the gun once again. A couple of receivers left, one right. He wants to throw. Fires to the right. So that's a bullet. Corralled and out of bounds. That was a nice catch by Chris Groves. And that false start earlier, I was mistaken. That was Zay Groves who was called on the false start. Chris Groves there with the reception, number 6. So gets them close to the chains. They get that penalty yardage back and then some. Second down and 3. They're spreading the field again. 3 to the left, 1 right. Snap. Young wants to pass. Fires to the left side. Complete. And that's Zay Groves wrapped up and taken down by Jacoby Pittman at the 20. And the Indians here just moving at will against this Bulldog defense.
And Josh, Jacoby Pittman so far has had a pretty good game. He's had a lot of wrap-ups and tackles, so major props to Jacoby Pittman.
Certainly a young man that plays hard no matter what the score is, no matter what the morale is of the rest of the team. He's always going to be a guy to keep spirits high. Young wants to throw, just flicks it over to Zay Groves, and nobody's there. And he's going to coast on in for yet another East Robertson touchdown. So, Zay Groves, have yourself a game. And yet another touchdown pass for Kason Young. And David Summer set to kick things in for the PAT. It's a wobbly kick, and it fades off to the right, wide right, no good. So the score will stay right where it is, 29-0 in favor of the Indians. So, you know, Aiden, this game, we came into it pretty much exclusively singing the praises of Zach Groves because of his commitment to Tennessee. But what's been most impressive to me about this East Robertson team has been everyone else. I mean, Groves has been a phenomenal player. He's been disruptive on defense, but there is talent everywhere on this Indian team. It's almost scary how a 2A school can have so many good football players in one place.
Yeah, Josh, and I mean tonight they've proven why they're a 5-0 in this season.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, you don't just stumble your way into 5-0. I mean, you have to earn it. You know, everything in this league is earned and not given. And we're seeing East Robertson earn every little thing thus far this year. So East Robertson set to kick things away. The same returners back deep for the Dogs. That's going to be Pittman that fields it yet again at the 10. 15. Cuts inside 20. And is wrapped up and taken down near the 22. And a penalty marker's down. Looked like it came in late towards the end of the play. And that penalty will be against East Robertson, it looks like, and that'll move Hickman County up a little bit. And they're moving up a considerable amount after that personal foul penalty. They'll spot him just past the 35, near the 37. With 40 seconds left, can Hickman County find the end zone before the half? East Robertson will be returning the third quarter kickoff. Armstrong again under center, gives Hutchison. No, it's deception to Street, and that was probably the biggest hole he's had all game, but couldn't keep his footing. Stumbles down just shy of the 40. And it's just been that kind of night for these Hickman County Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's unfortunate just to slip up like that, but still a good, decent amount of yards for this Bulldogs team.
So 3 yards, Hickman County with 15 seconds and winding, in no hurry here to run another offensive play, and this will probably be it for the first half. Armstrong snaps. This will be the end of the first half. Give up the middle. Plows forward for a few, but still about 55 yards shy of the end zone. And that brings our first half to a conclusion. A first half that was all East Robertson. Your score as we go into our break: Indians 29, Bulldogs nothing. We'll be right back.
This broadcast of Friday Night Lights on WNKX is brought to you by Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital. MLEC and ML Connect, your trusted source for power and broadband. Pizza Hut of Centerville. McDonald Funeral Home and the McDonald Family. Heritage Bank and Trust and Three Rivers Community Health Group in Lyles. We appreciate these trusted local businesses for making this broadcast possible. We will return in just a moment.
And welcome to the Heritage Bank Halftime Show. I'm Josh Copley alongside Aiden Weber. And Aiden, it was certainly a first half that left a lot to be desired if you're a Hickman County football fan or player or coach for that matter. And, you know, entering into this game, I think a lot of people knew how it was going to go. You can make your assumptions just because of the history of this East Robertson football team this year. I mean, they have been dominating schools. I mean, beating 5A schools. This team is immensely talented. And I'm not trying to take anything away from our Bulldogs. We have a lot of talented young men on that team. I love those guys. I love the coaches. But in this game, the talent differential has just been so apparent on both sides. And they knew coming into this it was going to be an uphill battle. And I'm glad. You said earlier they came in with a lot of energy. They were fired up. But that energy it's hard to translate when you're on the road in a hostile environment like this. I mean, it's easy to be hyped up when you're around your fellow students, your friends, prepping for a game, you're with your teammates at practice. But it's another when you're on this field, when you got a packed house, a packed student section that's been jawing at you the whole game, trash talking you the whole game. I mean, it's tough. And, there's a reason those guys are out there and I'm up here, right? They're the guys that play. They're the guys with the talent, the physical ability. But yeah, it's just been tough. I mean, looking at the East Robertson side, my goodness, the offense has looked just unstoppable. I mean, between Case and Young's arm, being able to air the ball out to guys like Cade Brooks, to guys like Chris Groves, Zay Groves. I mean, he's been dishing the ball to all of his targets, and they've all been effective. They've all shown off their great hands. Young has shown off his arm strength. There was a pass to the right side of the field late in the first half. I bet he threw that ball 150 miles an hour. It was a missile coming out of his hand. And, the running game has been pretty good for them too, but they are certainly a pass-first team. Even late in the first half, when they're up big, they could have just run the clock out. They still elected to go with the pass. So definitely two completely separate teams. Hickman County, run heavy. East Robertson, pass heavy. But Hickman County did have that one defensive stop earlier. They did force East Robertson to punt, which has been the biggest victory for these Bulldogs thus far in this football game. We've seen Braden McCaleb have some tough runs, Jaden Street have some tough runs, but they've been tough runs. They haven't necessarily been long runs. Hickman County has really been lacking in those chunk plays that really can turn a game around for you, that make you think, you know what, we got this, we can do this. But it seems like Hickman County has to exert 100% effort just to get a yard, just to get back to the line of scrimmage on some plays because of the potency of that defensive line led by UT commit Zach Groves of East Robertson. And they are exactly who they've been hyped up to be. A lot of times you enter into games where you hear a lot of talk about a team and you think, well, how good could they really be? East Robertson is exactly as good as you might think they would be. So it's been tough so far for these Bulldogs, but you still have a whole half to play. They do trail currently 29-0, but as we've said in the past, if they can score 29, then so can we. Why not? We're humans. We put our cleats on the same way they do. We put our pads on the same way they do. So Hickman County certainly going to need to change up something, though, Aiden. I think that's the big thing. Hickman County has certainly gotten into this rhythm of trying the same thing over and over. And have you heard the definition of insanity before, Aiden?
I would like for you to elaborate on that definition, Josh.
So the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And that's what we've been seeing, unfortunately, from Hickman County. Now, sometimes it works. And when it works, it's great. For example, last week against Montgomery Central, it worked great. Week 1 against Harpeth, it worked great. But what happens when you face teams that can rival you in talent, or teams that might be a little bit above you as far as talent goes? What happens when teams game plan for you? What happens when teams aren't fooled by your deception? What do you do then? I mean, do you lay down and say, you know what, we'll focus on next week? Or do we try to make, quick, rampant halftime adjustments to try to get some momentum, some confidence instilled back into your players before the ball game's over to carry with you into next week? Of course, next week, Hickman County's on the road against Houston County before the bye week, and then we're back home the next week against East Nashville Magnet, which will be another tough test in and of itself. So a lot to think about if you're a Hickman County coach. So Aiden, I'll let you give some of your thoughts on that first half.
And Josh, I mean, as you were saying earlier on how, the Dogs don't need to hang their heads, I mean, I feel like, they still need to play hard, but you could make it more like a practice game, if you will, and just try something different, new and stuff like that. And, I mean, as I said earlier, the guys were pumped up and they were ready to play, but, they were expecting East Robertson to be as good as they are tonight. And so, mentally, I don't think they're down by any sort of means. I mean, yes, the score is 29-0, but there's still a lot of game to be left played, and hopefully these Dogs got it in them.
So, Ed, really that's about all we could really talk about as far as the first half goes. But with still just under 14 minutes left to go, we got a lot of airtime to fill. For those of you joining us on 96.7 FM on the radio station here tonight. Now, for those tuning in as you usually do on YouTube or Facebook, maybe you've gone to get a drink or use the bathroom or what have you. But, Aiden, what I want to do, I want to talk to you a little bit about not homecoming last week, but the effects of it this week. Now, we know last week there was a lot of energy leading into the Montgomery Central game. There was a lot of festivities going on. So was there potentially some homecoming hangover this week for these Hickman County Bulldogs? What was the energy sort of depleted by any means this week? I mean, just from your perspective as a student at the school, because we know that can translate to athletics as well.
Definitely, Josh. I mean, for one, homecoming is a very fun week, and then you go back to actually having to do work, and so it definitely changes. And also, it's rained a lot this week, and so the Dogs weren't able to probably practice as much as they would have liked of because of the rain and weather. But, yeah, it's definitely been affected.
And that's a really good point that you brought up, Aiden, was the weather. I know the other day when I was out and about in Hickman County, it was pouring down rain. And, of course, you talk to a lot of the older people of Hickman County, they'll say, we needed this, as every Southerner says whenever we get rain. But, what rain does do while, the crops need it, while the ground needs the rain, who doesn't need the rain is the Hickman County football team or any athletic team that wants to have effective outdoor practices. And as you said, that's going to, mess with that in some form or fashion. Maybe they could still be outside, but it's just not, as ideal as you want it to be. Now, maybe that adversity can help you a little bit in preparation, because there will be some Friday night games where it's going to be raining. The weather is not going to be your friend, as we saw last week. The weather was not our friend. We didn't kick off till 8:10 p.m., and while it wasn't raining during the game, the field conditions were still less than ideal. So those are some things you just have to contend with, because that's the reality of it. So, yeah, I can imagine practice would be a little less efficient this week as it normally would due to the weather. But, Hickman County, they still had to know who they were up against this week. And, a lot of times, Aiden, people have said that, playing harder opponents can be good for a team, because how can you hope to get better if you get zoned into to a routine of just beating up on the little guys that you're expected to beat week after week? But it's only until, you face these top dogs where you really find out where you are as a football team. In Hickman County, while there have been some bright spots this year, Hickman County 2-3 on the year. That is already better than some seasons Hickman County has had, this football team has had. But you can't settle for that. You can't say, congratulations, we won a game. Congratulations, we won 2 games. I mean, if you're a coach, if you're a player, the goal is to go undefeated. The goal is to win every single week. So I know these guys are not going to be satisfied with the few wins they've had already this year. These are the games that, while they may not necessarily in their heart expect to win, it's one where if you can find yourself being competitive, if you're able to put up a good game plan to contend with these kind of teams, that should give you confidence going forward against the middle of the pack guys, the guys that maybe in the past you would ordinarily lose to. Now you're able to beat them because you're able to accurately measure yourself because of your performance against these top dog opponents.
Definitely, Josh, and that goes back to what I was saying earlier about how the Dogs can give up in the second half. They still have to play hard, because just like you said, this could contend to the future, and this could show them what they are made of in the future to come.
Well, and the last thing you want to do, of course, this is a district game, which a lot of people were confused about, as we talked about earlier. A team that's 2 hours away, a team that's this loaded with talent, how in the world did they get roped into our district? But of course, if you're a coach, if you're a player, that's your reality. You can question it, but you can't change it. You have to compete against these guys, whether you want to or not. But when you have back-to-back district games, you can afford those losses against non-district opponents, but it's these games where you kind of have to perk your ears up a little bit. You got to be on your best behavior, put your best foot forward. And if you're Hickman County, if you let this loss potentially carry into next week, now still a whole half of football left to be played. I would never once count out a team that I am actively supporting. But if you're Hickman County, you've seen it not go your way so far. but are you going to continue to let it not go your way, and are you going to let that continue to carry over into how you practice next week, into how you play next week? Because with back-to-back district opponents, you've got to find a way to steadily improve to show that you belong in this tough district.
Definitely, Josh. And, I mean, Hickman County, they have had some good plays in this game a couple times. And so they've definitely proven that they can stand with some of these teams. It's just doing it repeatedly, I would say, the best way to put it.
Yes, Aiden, absolutely. And that kind of goes back to what we talked about in that first half, that Hickman County has been able to string together, or they've been able to sporadically get maybe 1 6-yard carry from McCaleb. They'll get 1 4-yard carry from Street. Hutchison will break something out around the edge and get a couple yards here and there. But they've never been able to really put those in succeeding order. And that's really been the problem because, Hickman County, it seems like they've been taking 1 step forward and 3 steps back, and then it's either a turnover on downs, a punt. And the Bulldogs, in order to really compete against these teams, it's all about consistency. It's about being able to string those plays together. If you can get a McCaleb 6-yard carry and then have a Street 7-yard carry back-to-back, you got a first down, and now all of a sudden you got the defense on their heels. But if you go McCaleb 6-yard carry and then a loss of 4 and then a 6-yard carry, you're still not moving the chains. I mean, if you're the Bulldogs, you have to find a way somehow to go back with these positive yards.
And, I mean, I know the coaching staff, you never want to see your team go back in yards or anything like that. And so I believe that during this halftime they're definitely talking about that as issues sprung in the first half. And so I hope to see a different Bulldogs team coming up in the second half as we have 7 minutes around there remaining.
Well, and Aiden, something that I've noticed about the Hickman County team, whenever they are playing against a tough opponents are usually so good at playing containment. They're so good at protecting the edges, and especially a team like East Robertson, who's got some of the best edge rushers in Middle Tennessee. So you have that to contend with, but usually the best teams have that. The best teams are able to watch when you run east to west. But Hickman County, when they face these tough opponents, their best plays are usually north and south. When McCaleb can lower his shoulder and when the offensive line opens a lane. When they try to go around the edges, it seems far too often they try to do too much. They try to jump cut or spin move or do something to make guys miss, but they end up running themselves into losses of 3 or 4. I mean, because not only are you having to beat your guy to the edge, which is very hard to do when you have defenders as athletic as East Robertson has. Once you get to the edge, then you have to cut up field. So those are 2 things you have to do correct, and Hickman County just hasn't gotten past step 1 as far as running out to the edges yet. So I expect to see Hickman County try to just drive it up the middle a bit more often away from those edge containment guys. But if not, maybe you have to trust John Michael's arm at some point. Now, he was picked off earlier in this game on a pass that sailed on him a little bit, but you can't give up on it. I mean, if you make yourself one-dimensional, a good team will beat you. A good team will be prepared for you. So it's all about finding a way to keep them off balance and keep them off guard a little bit, even if it doesn't work the first 2 times you do it.
And, Josh, I think that's what we've seen in East Robertson is that they're good running the ball and passing the ball, especially with their quarterback. I mean, he's shown his arm tonight and running when there's no one open. So, I mean, they've definitely shown their talent in that, and I would love to see Hickman County do the same.
I want to talk about, there have been some pretty good performances tonight by East Robertson, their cheerleaders, and of course the band had a good performance for us during halftime, so kudos to the band here at East Robertson High School with 5 minutes until the second half kicks off. And of course right now they're honoring the young guns out there, the young cheerleaders and young players alike. Even though it's not our community in Hickman County, that's always something that warms my heart a little bit. Seeing the community of other schools, seeing people come together in support of these kids, not just high school age, but also these little ones that we see out here right now. It's really a sight to see, and I think more communities should certainly start doing that more. That sense of togetherness really can't be matched. And of course, we know at Hickman County, I would say we have the best community of anybody in the state, but I'm a little biased, I understand, but it certainly never gets old seeing it no matter where you are.
And Josh, that just shows that the community knows that these little kids are the future. I mean, those little players that we see on the field right now, they could be playing in high school one day. Me and you commentating maybe again.
We're gonna be old and have gray hair, and we're gonna have hip problems. Even though I already have hip problems right now, so I'm already halfway there. So, you know. Now, Aiden, I gotta say, I really hope Matthew Dodson's given you like an A++ for your work this year, because not only have you been doing a fantastic job as a color commentator, I don't know of anybody else that would drive almost 2 hours through Nashville traffic to the border of Kentucky and Tennessee to call a football game. So kudos to you, Mr. Weber.
I appreciate it, Josh, and I've had a very fun time this year doing this with you, and hopefully to have you back. Hopefully you will have me back next season.
I thought you were gonna say, are you threatening to kick me off the radio, Aiden? But no, of course, we will always welcome you back. Of course, WNKX always appreciates the help from its students at Hickman County High School. The relationship that we've been able to have with you guys, with Mr. Dodson and with DJ Key and with the other, higher ups, I guess, of Hickman County High School, it's really been a blessing. I'm so grateful for that the school has been so receptive to us. They've worked with us so cooperatively, and that's awesome. Because we're not really doing it for us, Aiden, right? We're doing it for those guys that work their butts off on the field, that work their butts off in practice, for the coaches, all those involved, because they're the ones that really deserve the spotlight. We're just a service, right? We're just here to make sure they get the exposure they deserve. And so once again, thank you to all of you that tune in, because without the viewers, this doesn't happen either. So thank you for all of you that are either listening on 96.7 FM, or for those of you that are watching on YouTube or Facebook. And a big thank you to, of course, Will Nunley, who gave me this position here. And we've got Jared Brown, Access Tennessee financier, here tonight working our camera. He's been doing a great job. Only his second time working the camera. See, Aiden, you are the only student that's a part of this production team tonight. It's very rare. I know last week for homecoming, we had like 15 students up there. Now, were most of them just watching? Yes, but they were still there nonetheless. Yeah, of course, Jack Floyd on the camera last week. Future basketball star at Hickman County High School, and potentially golf star as well. I hear he excels at both of those sports. And how can we forget Braden Chesser, always looming over our shoulder, observing us carefully, learning the ropes of production and broadcasting, or at least we'll say that because it sounds better. But it's great to see the students excited about what we're doing here at WNKX, that the students want to be involved, that they want to help, because this is fun, right? It's one thing to be down there in the student section, but when you're up here working, it almost feels like you're a part of the team in a way. So, the football team has been so easy to work with as well. Coach Smith and the rest of the crew for letting us do this. It's awesome. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
And Josh, I think it just shows the community that we're trying to build. Some people can't come out, 2 hours from Hickman County to come watch a game, and so just letting them be able to watch, I think, is a big deal.
Absolutely, and we are more than happy to do that for all of you that are unable to get out. We know that life happens, and that sometimes, health can come in the way of you being able to go out and about and surround yourself with people at a stadium. So, we are honored to be able to bring this action to you, and we are under 30 seconds to second half kickoff. Aiden, I know before, sometimes on games where we're on the radio, we got to figure out how are we going to fill this halftime, and somehow we have managed to do it yet again.
Luckily, Josh, God gave us the gift of talking very well.
Some would call it yapping, but yeah, I also agree. Oh no, Aiden, they have put 3 minutes back on the halftime clock. We are getting a Super Bowl halftime show here at East Robertson High School. Looks like we spoke too soon, kind of like when you talked about Parker Lambert's PAT not that long ago, which really showed that the announcer's curse is alive and well, whether it's action on the field or the clock during halftime.
Definitely, Josh, and I've been trying not to jinx Hickman County so far tonight.
Well, I've already done it once between with the fumble that happened earlier, but I will take responsibility for that. Also, while we still have a little bit more time, I do want to thank East Robertson High School for being so accommodating to us. I had a chance to talk to their PA announcer a little bit ago. He is awesome. He was very helpful with our setup, as well as the athletic director here at East Robertson High School, Mr. Derek Wicks. He was very easy to get a hold of as far as figuring out what the game plan was for us to be able to cover this game. So big shout out to East Robertson High School for helping us here at WNKX bring you this action. So we've got under 90 seconds to go until the second half kickoff. And as a reminder, East Robertson will be receiving the ball to start this half. It's about 8:20 p.m. right now. And talk about the drive up here. How about that drive back home? There is no hotel for us here tonight in Cross Plains. But Parker Lambert will see the field for his first time today, kicking things off from the 40. So here we go, second half football from East Robertson High School is underway. A line drive kick, speeding towards the sideline, out of bounds, flag on the field. It's that kick out of bounds penalty. East Robertson looking to pick up right where they left off. That lethal passing attack. So Young in the gun, two left, two right, drops back to pass, fires a check down to the right side to his running back. He accelerates to the right side of the field, lowers his shoulder and surges down, close to the first down marker. That looks like Caleb McNeil on the reception. And they'll spot him down at the 44. And they will be just shy, second down in inches. They remain in the gun. Two receivers left, two right. And the hard count looked like they got Hickman County to jump. And they will get the neutral zone infraction called on the Bulldogs. So the Indians don't even need to run a play to get a first down. They'll move the ball up to the 49.
Just like earlier, Josh, they just got too excited, too pumped up.
Too much nervous energy, if you will. Young stays in the gun. This time three receivers to the left and one to the right. They continue to spread the field. Snaps going to be that inside zone play up the middle. Follows his blocks. Has some room. Cuts back inside. Has a first down. McNeil takes it past the 40. Down to the 39-yard line. I mean, the play calling of East Robertson has been so good as well, being able to spread the field with your wide receiver placement and then just run an inside run with those defenders spread out, and we see right there it works very effectively.
And just like you said earlier, Josh, of not being one-dimensional, but just mixing it up a little bit.
And a quick pass out to the right has his man wide open, makes a move, and gets some additional yardage after the catch. Pass was caught by Chris Groves. We'll get 7 yards there on the reception. Yes, Aiden, 6 or 7 on the play. Quarterback in the gun. Once again, 3 left. Young wants to throw, fires right, and a little bit of miscommunication there. Almost picked off by Hutchison. Groves said go, Young said stop, so that was a little bit of miscommunication there. Works out in favor of the Bulldogs.
Josh, as we talked about earlier on how the energy of East Robertson could confuse the Dogs. Same on that play, it confused East Robertson themselves. So that just shows the energy that is here tonight.
I think we can say that just to try to give Hickman County a mental advantage. I'm not sure how much I agree with you, but. So 3 left, they're going to give it right up the middle. He's going to power forward. And he's got plenty for the first down, McNeil. My goodness, he was hit near the line of scrimmage, but kept on trucking. And they'll move the chains down to the 26. Wants to throw, Young swings it out left to McNeil. McNeil tries to make a move. Oh, and he's hit hard, but bounces off the tackle and takes it down inside the 25. And that was a crazy looking hit. Kudos to McNeil for staying on his feet. That was Rainola there with the contact. Young rolls right, fires, incomplete. Well covered by Armstrong, but a flag is thrown in the backfield. And that'll be a holding call against the Indians. So Aiden, while East Robertson has looked dominant, they haven't been without their fair share of mistakes as well. They've been penalized a fair amount thus far in this game. Between the holding call, a personal foul call.
And Josh, that just goes to show how you can never have a perfect game, no matter how good of a team you are.
Yeah, absolutely. So a second down and 15 for the Indians. Young barking orders. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Snap. It's going to be a keeper on the read option. And darts up the field. What acceleration by Young. Takes it down inside the 10. And Kaysen Young is such an athlete. And it's crazy to think that young man is still just a junior. He has another year of playing ahead of him. More time to develop and to grow as a quarterback. And a timeout is called by Coach Brooks of East Robertson as they want to talk things over on this 1st and goal from inside the 10. So both teams now back onto the field following the Indians' timeout. 8:43 to play in the third quarter. Young in the gun, 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Running back flanking him to his right. Snap. Looks, pump fakes, pressure coming. And he lost the ball! He lost the ball! Hickman County has it. The strip sack. Hickman County with one of their biggest plays of the game. That's a great example, Aiden, of just turning that scoreboard off, still making those hustle plays, those high-effort plays. They can really turn things around for you, but now the offense has to do something.
Yeah, Josh, I couldn't have said it better myself, and I can't wait to see what this offense will do in the next couple of plays.
As far as I'm concerned, Aiden, it's still a 4-score game. So that tells me there is a chance. Under center. Snap. Armstrong still taking snaps. Gives it up the middle. McCaleb trying to plow ahead. Gets a couple on the play. So the second down play and about 8 yards to go to move the sticks. Snap, Armstrong gives. Hutchison tries to follow his blocks. Not much going. So it looked like there, Aiden. It looked like Hutchison had a chance to bounce it around to the left side. I don't think he had some room out that way, but tries to cut back inside into the, the brunt of that defense, and it costs him. So no gain, third down and 8 for the Dogs. And after being complacent for a good while now, this East Robertson fan base starting to rile up yet again. Armstrong under center. Snap. Outside. Street. And he's hit hard at the knees and out of bounds. Taken down well shy of a first down. And he might have gotten a yard on the carry, if that. Now at this juncture, Aiden, perhaps we see the offense stay on the field on this 4th down and long. Hickman County bringing some new men into the huddle. And Armstrong will stay under center. Motion, snap, fakes the toss, get it the other way, and he's wrapped down to the ground is Braden McCaleb. Well shy of the first down. That'll be a turnover on downs for the Bulldogs. It looks like for a moment they may have called horse collar. I mean, that tackle was very close to the neck around of McCaleb's jersey there. But no call. The referees say it was a clean tackle. So as far as East Robertson goes, no harm, no foul on that last fumble. They're right back to where they were with a 1st and 10 at the Bulldog 25. Snap, give up the middle. Has some blocks, makes some men miss. Still on his feet, McNeil down inside the 20. McNeil gets about 8 yards on the carry. In the gun again, Hickman County trying to rush the substitutes off the field. They're going to keep it on the ground and get on McNeil. Bounces outside, still on his feet, cuts back inside. Still on his feet, and takes it down inside the 10-yard line. And Aiden McNeil, he is a big guy, but the way he's moving, able to make guys miss, he's agile for a big man.
Yeah, Josh, and in those 2 plays, I mean, it just showed the strength that he has. I mean, it took a couple of our dogs just to get him down.
Quarterback in the gun, snap. Quick pass out to the right, little RPO. And he's going to take it up the field. Cade Brooks to the house for another East Robertson touchdown. So that makes the score 35-0. Extra point on the way. And the kick is a line drive kick. Had some power behind it. It's up and good. So your score now, East Robertson 36, Hickman County nothing. With 4:55 to play in the third quarter, but Aiden, since they did take a 35-point or more lead, that will activate the mercy rule clock. The clock has not yet started to roll. Hutchison and Pittman back to return for the Bulldogs. And no, so usually we see Pittman and Hutchison, or Pittman and Armstrong, some combo, but this time we got Hutchison and Eli Johnson. And he lost it. And the return was muffed, picked up by East Robertson. So things go from bad to worse for these Bulldogs. So the officials, after talking it over, I guess it wasn't confirmed that was Indian football yet, but after a meeting by the officials, they do say first down and 10 for East Robertson with the ball spotted at the 32-yard line. Quarterback in the gun, one receiver left, two to the right. Snap, wants to throw, quick fire out to the left, incomplete. Young was looking for number 12, Eli Milliken. I believe that's his first target on the day. They send a couple of receivers wide to the right, tight end in the slot, one receiver to the left. That's Milliken again out to the left. Young snaps. Gonna give it up the middle. He's breaking tackles and is finally wrapped up by his feet inside the 25. And again, that was number 11, Caleb McNeil, the senior running back. So Aiden, McNeil is only listed at 5'10", pushing 200 pounds, but he moves so well, and he, you know, his frame looks a lot bigger than what he's listed as. I mean, he is so agile and hard to tackle at the same time, which is a hard combo to have.
Definitely, Josh, and I'm shocked that he's 5'10". I'm very surprised about that. from the press box, it seems like he's bigger, just like you said.
He looks 6'3" from here. Snap, they're going to give it again to McNeil. Up the middle. Follows his blocks. What a patient run. Bounces out to the left. Stops in a great change of direction right there. Takes it down to the 10-yard line. With under 2 minutes now to play in the third quarter. East Robertson again inching closer to the end zone. Snap, give, up the middle. That's McNeil. Weaving his way through tacklers into the end zone for another East Robertson touchdown. So it was not Kaysen Young there that took the snap. And the PAT is on the way. Snap was good, hold was good, and the kick is good. Your score now, East Robertson 43, Hickman County nothing. So Summer here to kick things away for the Indians. Hickman County looking to avoid any kind of miscues on special teams this time around. It all starts with the little things, Aiden. All starts with the little things. The kick is high again, this time fielded by Keithley, trying to make some men miss, tries to spin out of a tackle, but he's taken down at the 34. And really now, Aiden, at this stage, I think we got to start questioning the extent of John Michael's injury. I mean, it looked like he was able to walk off under his own power, but we have not seen him since the first half. And, you know, we never like to assume the worst when it comes to injuries, but if it's keeping a man like him down for this long, it has to be something serious. Give to McCaleb. He's plowing his way forward. And he's pushed back, but forward progress will give him a couple of yards on the first down run.
And Josh, going back to John Michael, hopefully it's done serious. I mean, so far this season, the Dogs have struggled with injuries like Andy Kraft, Aiden Spiegelmeyer, and Chase Sims.
The injury bug has certainly stricken the Hickman County Bulldogs, but that will take us to the end of the third quarter. Your score, East Robertson 43, Hickman County nothing. We'll be right back.
This broadcast of Friday Night Lights on WNKX is brought to you by Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital. MLEC and ML Connect, your trusted source for power and broadband. Pizza Hut of Centerville. McDonald Funeral Home and the McDonald Family. Heritage Bank and Trust and Three Rivers Community Health Group in Lyles. We appreciate these trusted local businesses for making this broadcast possible. We will return in just a moment.
And welcome back to WNKX live on YouTube, Facebook, and 96.7 FM. Hickman County's trailing East Robertson 43-0 with one more quarter left to play here in Cross Plains, Tennessee. Hickman County with the ball, second down and 9. Armstrong under center, taking over for the injured John Michael Lewis, who was hurt back in the first half. Lewis gives Hutchison, and hot pursuit, my goodness. You know, Aiden, it's been really hard to call out or specify whenever Zach Groves is making a play defensively because there's always a swarm of gray jerseys there to meet the Hickman County ball carrier. Third down and 3. Snap. Give up the middle. Plowing ahead past the 35 is Braden McCaleb yet again. That'll be a first down. No, not a first down for the Dogs. They still have about 8 or 9 yards to go. I was looking at the wrong chain there, Aiden. That's my mistake. It'll be a 4th down and 9 for the Dogs.
Josh, for this fourth quarter, East Robertson's band is hyped up.
They certainly have not wavered at all as far as their passion and their energy they're bringing. I mean, the fans, regardless of the huge lead, they haven't filed out yet by any means. Everyone's sticking it out here. And even the Hickman County fans that came tonight, they're sticking it out as well. Motion street, flags fly, whistles blow. And let's see what the penalty's about. And it'll be a false start against Hickman County. And no, they get a delay of game on Hickman County. They weren't able to snap it in time. Be 4th down and 13 for the Dogs. Armstrong snaps. He'll keep it around the edge. And Armstrong can accelerate. Tries to cut back inside, but he's met and wrapped up by a tribe of Indians. So well shy of the first down, and a penalty marker was thrown in the backfield, potentially holding. And will be holding against the Bulldogs. And that'll send both sides to the sideline. There's a timeout on the field as we swap possessions. So 1st and 10 for the Indians. And it looks like another timeout of sorts or some conversations happening on the field. I guess one of the coaches didn't like how they were set up to start that series. And we'll talk things over furthermore. First and 10, it looks like Kason Young no longer taking snaps for East Robertson, trying to work in some of their younger guys. Snap. It's going to be a jet sweep around the edge. That's McNeil. Sideline. That wasn't McNeil. Actually, that was number 12, Eli Milliken, the wide receiver. And that was an explosive carry by Milliken, accelerating around the edge to set up a 2nd down and 2 for the Indians. They're pushing the pile forward, and that's going to be plenty, and I mean plenty, for a 1st down as he takes it down to the 15-yard line. So even these younger guys of East Robertson showing that they're forces to be reckoned with as well as they continue to drive the ball down the field. Looks like number 23, Knox Rogers, was the one taking snaps. Or no, that's 24. That's Cale Cothran is the one taking snaps. He's listed at 5'8". He's listed as a running back as well, but he's the one taking snaps. So I wonder if their backup quarterback, who's listed here as being number 7, Luke O'Brien, who's also a junior, wondering if he's dealing with an injury of some sort. I'm not sure. But what I do know is that Cothran is the one, all the same, taking snaps for these guys. Cothran also a freshman. In the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Running back flanking him to his left. Snap. He's going to give it. Bounces around the edge and tries to stiff arm, but he's taken down by Eli Johnson. A nice open field tackle, which potentially saved the touchdown. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 7. The ball spotted shy of the 10-yard line. So you still have room for one more 1st down before it becomes a goal and a goal-to-go scenario. Cothran. Snaps. Gives up the middle. On the bounce back, he's close to the chains. Does he have enough to move him? Looks like he gave it to number 18, Deshaun South, was in there on the touch. There's a lot of numbers here to keep up with, Aiden. A lot of substitutions going in and out. So it'll be a 4th down and 2. Bulldogs looking for a stop. Snap. Give up the middle. Tries to cut back. That's South, and he stood up. Hickman County, I think, just got to stop defensively. And that will be a turnover on downs. 1st down, Hickman County. And as we've said in the past, Aiden, no matter what the scoreboard looks like, you are going to be taking any win you can get. And right there, a goal line defensive stand for those Hickman County Bulldogs.
Definitely, Josh. And I don't think at any point in this game our Bulldogs have stopped playing hard at all. I think they've played hard this whole game. And right there, they had a very good play.
East Robertson trying to impose their will on the Hickman County defense, but the Bulldogs having none of it. So Armstrong under center, snap, whistles blow. And it was given up the middle to McCaleb, and if the whistle wasn't blown, McCaleb might have taken that a long way. He might still be running right now, actually. So so the first down, again, we have 1st and 5. The penalty was on East Robertson. Offsides or an encroachment call. Give up the middle. McCaleb had a hole but drug down from behind. A nice tackle by the Indians. Now we taken down close to the 25. Snap. Armstrong keeps it himself, makes a man miss, gets around the edge. Oh, grabbed at the neck, and 2 flags fly, so it looks like they'll get him for horse collar. And we haven't seen a ton of Armstrong as far as the explosive big-time plays that we're used to seeing, but right there reminding us how light he is on his feet, how quickly he can change direction.
Definitely, Josh. And Armstrong so far has had a phenomenal season, honestly.
Certainly a big-time playmaker for these Hickman County Bulldogs.
Him with the quick feet with Jacoby Pittman, Taylor Hutchison, and Jaden Street. And then you have Braden McCaleb, the powerhouse, as we say.
You know, on paper, Aiden, they've got loads of talent on that team. It's just they're just waiting for that moment where it clicks, it comes together. You know, it's one thing to beat teams that you're supposed to beat, but what happens when you play those competitive teams that you're not so sure you can beat? And that's where that talent is really tested. And some substitutions are being made on the field right now with 90 seconds to play in the football game. Armstrong gives. That's Hutchison wrangled, Street rather, wrangled and thrown down. And that's enough for a first down.
And Josh, I think it goes back to what we were saying earlier about how the Bulldogs have had good plays. It's just they haven't been able to do it repeatedly over the game, and that's what they need to work on this week.
And they give up the middle again, swarmed by East Robertson, but flags fly. So 2nd down and 9. They pick up the penalty. I don't believe they're going to enforce it there. Another give up the gut. That's McCaleb following his blocks down near the 35-yard line. Hickman County in business with 30 seconds to play. Do the Dogs try to hurry up to try to break that goose egg before it's all said and done? And with 20 seconds, they are hurrying up to the line, but now they've slowed things down a little bit. Snap, give again, up the middle. And dragging some guys with him. And that was Jaden Street on the game's final carry. His 6-yard run will bring this game to a conclusion. Your final from East Robertson High School. East Robertson 43, Hickman County nothing. We thank you all for tuning in tonight on YouTube, Facebook, or if you've been listening on 96.7 FM, we appreciate your support. A big special thanks to Jared Brown for working our camera tonight. We will see you next week on the road at Houston County. Game time is at 7 p.m. Our stream will begin at 6:45 p.m. We hope you can join us. But until then, for Aiden Weber, I've been Josh Copley.